Hi everyone, this is Ludwig Kitzman for GamesRadar Plus, along with Anthony John Agnello. Now, it's time for a choice. Will you watch this video about ludicrous moral choices in video games, or will you not watch it, thereby triggering the bomb we've placed in the kitten orphanage?
Even if you know it's there, you can't accurately determine which one is the bomb cat before it explodes. The choice is impossible, and fairly stupid, but not dissimilar to the many exaggerated choices you are asked to make in games with overt themes of morality in them. Here are 8 examples of moral choices so starkly black and white that they can't help but be ridiculous.
Let me start you off with Infamous, Sucker Punch's signature PlayStation superhero game. It lets you be a saint, or, guess what, a complete bastard. You play as bike messenger turned lightning god Cole McGrath, that's his actual name, acquires his powers in an incident that destroys half of Empire City. And most citizens think that disaster was his fault. Now, the citizens have to survive by receiving these airdropped supply crates. Cole helps secure one of them early in the game, but he and his friends, oh no, they need those goods too.
So Cole can either let the unruly crowd take those treats for themselves, or B, electrocute the entire crowd of starving people. The worst part of this is that the only consequence for Cole acting like an electric jerk is that his girlfriend will be mad at him when he takes the food. I don't know about you, but if I see someone else reaching for the same granola bar in the supermarket, I tase them immediately. Girlfriend or no girlfriend.
That's just supermarket etiquette. Have you been to one recently? It's pretty rough out there. But let me tell you, there's a choice that's just as good in Fable, the original Fable. It asks you to kill your sister. Ever since Jack of Blades burns your village down while you're growing up, and one of your parents, the hero's entire life has led to this final confrontation with evil and chaos, and all of your powers are at their peak, and you're facing down Jack of Blades to prevent him from taking over the world and all that stuff. But the important part is he's got this really cool weapon called the Sword of Aeons. Also, it's charged by the blood of your relatives, like a really good turkey carving knife.
Precisely. So you could grab the sword, kill your sister, and then use the sword's power to destroy Jack for the greater good, and work out all that residual anger still lingering against your sister from when she told on you for destroying her bike, but even then it's not really worth it. You can only make the choice after you've finished the final battle, won the game, and proved yourself the baddest chicken chaser in all of Albion. The blood sword isn't good for anything except sounding awesome at that point. And you may as well just give your sister a break. Far Cry 3, meanwhile, suggests you might want to consider killing your girlfriend if you're still feeling bloodthirsty or psychotic. That's kind of Far Cry's thing. As the sole survivor of a group of rich kid kidnappees, you go full Rambo on the human traffickers hassling you and free your pals. Problem is that the native resistance helping you also wants you to join them permanently, and to seal the deal, you have to give them the blood of your girlfriend.
Okay, I'm gonna file this one under, okay, we get it. We as game players become gradually desensitized to violence and reality because of the conditions that are manufactured to keep our adrenaline going. Ignoring the awkward fact that this is a game about a white guy literally falling out of the sky and retaking the island for the natives, this really weird outcome is kind of laughably extreme given the short amount of time the game takes place in. Also, the name of this mission is, quote, Hard Choices. I mean, I think any normal person is going to stop at unfriending their girlfriend on Facebook and leaving it at that. The twist, apparently, is that you were playing a psychopath all along. Oh, you know what? I just looked at this list again, and apparently killing girlfriends is a thing in video games, even in that faraway galaxy from a long time ago. Jedi Knight was the first Star Wars video game to actively tempt the player with the dark side of the Force. So when you invest in the evil Force abilities like Force Choke or Lightning Blasts, which by the way are obviously cooler than healing yourself or doing mind tricks, but we'll just put that aside for now, you as the protagonist, Kyle Katarn, may fall to the same temptation that turned Anakin Skywalker into... Who was that guy?
Oh, Darth Vader. And yeah, that makes sense. This is Star Wars after all. Temptation is sort of part of the fabric of the thing. But when you reach the end of Jedi Knight, antagonist Jarek makes Kyle's Anakin-style choice kind of way too specific. He can either kill his love interest, Jan, or die. If your Kyle is a dark side-infused engine of red-hot vengeance, he just goes along with Jarek and kills Jan, instead of lighting that guy up like a Christmas tree with his lightning hands. And Jarek still tries to kill you even if you make the jerk choice. The dark side is pretty much just for killing everybody, according to this game.
Especially people called Jarek, which sounds a lot like jerk. I just wanted to point that out.
So enough with the significant other murder. BioShock Infinite actually presents you with a far more real and disturbing choice in the face of racial violence. Booker DeWitt, having just infiltrated a city floating miles above the Earth's surface, wanders into what appears to be a pleasant local jamboree. Everybody's having a good time, singing Goodnight Irene, doing, early 20th century stuff, when he wins a raffle. And the perturbing prize is being the first to lob a baseball at a mixed-race couple.
It should be said that fate intervenes either way here. You get arrested regardless. Moments before the game can really judge you for the real choice, which is, do I attack the racists right now, or wait until I can kill them with the guns this game will inevitably give me after this scene? So, in some ways, it's more interesting because it's about subterfuge and whether or not you can forgive yourself for this horrible act in order to keep a low profile and keep up appearances. But the problem is the choice doesn't really inform your character. It's predetermined, and you're not really authoring who you are in that moment, except to yourself personally. And even then, would it really make sense if you were like, yes, I am a monster protagonist? Okay, so that choice was at the beginning of the game, but I've got one that's at the end of the game for you. In Deus Ex, J.C. Denton has fought and talked and hacked his way deep into Area 51, which does in fact exist, and it's home to the all-powerful AI known as Helios. Something, the Illuminati, etc. But the important part is you can choose whether or not to use the power of Helios to fix the entire world, or merge with Helios and become a cyber dictator, or blow it all up and take away humanity's favorite thing, computers.
Now, on the surface, that's heady stuff. Problem is, those world-defining choices made it almost impossible to properly build a sequel to the game. Deus Ex 2 Invisible War couldn't decide which endings should be canonical, so all three of them turned out to be true-ish. All urgency and agency that players felt over the cyberpunk world at the end of the first game was drained out of the series because there really wasn't a choice at all, and those choices that were there didn't have the impact that was actually suggested in the original game. Unfortunately, this started a trend. Even in the otherwise excellent prequel, Deus Ex Human Revolution, there are three endings that should have monumental consequences, but ultimately feel pretty airless. And hey, if you like three different airless endings in your science fiction epic, have some Mass Effect 3 to wash that Deus Ex down. Reach the end of the Mass Effect trilogy, and Commander Shepard, having literally died and been resurrected to save existence, convinces the populace that ancient space squids are going to destroy everything. When her finest hour finally arrives, it comes in the form of three handily color-coded, morally intense options.
Okay, can we stop with the colors? We get it. Things can be different colors. However, the problem here is that you've been making simple choices throughout 3 games, and together, those add up to the kind of moral complexity that we want in a video game story. All those things you did before, Shepard, all those reporters you punched, that adds up to a rich story. But then, rather than being swept to that ending based on all of those things, having an ending that makes sense for the characters you've created, every possible combination for every single player terminates in one of 3 dramatically different choices. So that's why it seems especially ludicrous, because all histories possible in the game inevitably lead to one of 3 set outcomes, with a little bit more if you played the extended cut DLC. But this one would have worked better if the ending was determined automatically based on, everything and all the choices that are in 3 different games. Why even have the choice moment? And finally, it says here, Mega Man Legends 2. Wait, hang on. Why is Mega Man Legends 2 on here? This is the one. This is the one where you run around with like Mega Man, and they're quaint little villages, and you kick little pigs. I don't get it. Why is this on the list?
Indeed, you do kick cute little pigs, Ludwig. You can kick all the pigs you meet in Mega Man Legends 2. That is, when you're not gallivanting around ancient ruins blowing up robots. It turns out that kicking all of those pigs isn't part of the main story, but it is something that you can do if you feel like being a prick. Booting swine is just one way to nudge Mega Man over to the dark side. The more you're a jerk, the darker his armor gets, and the benefit of being a nasty Mega Man Volnut is that you can buy stuff from the neighborhood black market dealer. Once you get tired of kicking pigs and having villagers sneer at you because you're a jerk, you can make a generous donation to the church and return to good societal standing. Talk about indulgences.
Okay, so Anthony, what have we learned? Did games teach us the difference between good and evil?
I think I just learned to not date video game protagonists. I like that ending.